Wichita police still looking for a 14-year-old that fled on foot following a police chase in East Wichita late last night. Another teen also remains in critical condition, according to new information released today by police. That pursuit began in the area of Central and Oliver and concluded at the 8th and Edgemore intersection, where the suspect vehicle was involved in a minor crash with another vehicle. Police say it began when officers were in the area of Central and Oliver monitoring a crowd there for a balloon release related to the homicide of a 13-year-old that occurred last Halloween. Police were there after receiving unverified information suggesting potential violence in that area. Police say while monitoring the event, officers saw a male they recognized violating his probation and got into a vehicle with several other juvenile males. Officers attempted to stop that vehicle and then it attempted to flee. After the pursuit ended in a minor crash at 8th and Edgemore, 4 teens fled on foot. 3 were arrested, while a 4th does remain at large at this time. The ages of those teens range from 14 to 16 years old. The driver was found inside with what police first reported last night as a gunshot wound, but police today saying they do no longer believe it was a gunshot, but still do not know how the driver was critically injured. A firearm was recovered from the vehicle. That incident does remain under investigation by Wichita Police and the Kansas Highway Patrol.